chances are you are making one fatal gym mistake that is destroying your gains. And so today I'm going to be going over the top 10 worst, absolute worst gym mistakes that you can be making that is reducing how aesthetic you're looking. And in 10th place, we have subconsciously progressive overloading. And you might fall into the trap where you think that you're making progress without actually tracking how much progress you're making. And a very common mistake guys like you will make when getting into the gym, lifting for maybe 6 months, you'll see a lot of progress. You see a lot of these changes to your physique. You experience the newbie gain phase, but then after that, you do the exact same workout routine and expect different results, more results. The truth is, you're not going to get more results. Okay, what got you from beginner to intermediate will not get you from intermediate to advanced. Okay, the same workout routine that got you to gain the first 10 pounds of muscle will not get you to gain the next 10 pounds. Okay, that's the truth. The longer you lift, the more you realize that in order to gain new muscle, you must trigger a stronger stimulus for your muscles and give them a reason to grow. This means you either add more reps, add more weight, or you add more sets. Okay, you can add more reps from workout to workout, but stay within the 6 to 12 hypertrophy range. And before you add weight, you must first get the most out of your current weight. So you must first get more reps with your current weight before decreasing the rep number and then adding a small amount of weight. And so let's say on day one, you can bench this weight for this many reps. And then you add more reps to this weight for 6 weeks until you get to 12 reps. After 6 weeks, you get back to 6 reps, but then you add a small amount of weight. Another advice I can give you is I wouldn't recommend adding sets too frequently because it can mess with recovery and ultimately destroy your progress. But if the volume of your workout is the limiting factor, then obviously, add more sets. But I think that with one set with good form, training to failure, maximizing mechanical tension will be far superior to 5 sets of goofing around, dancing around with light weights, not knowing what you're doing. And I just think that the best way to progressively overload is just to track all your lifts. And you want to be measuring all of these things systematically, right? You don't want to make the mistake of subconsciously, randomly adding in weight here and there, switching up the routine every couple of days. It just won't do you any good. In 9th place, we have dirty bulking until you look fat. I have literally no idea where the idea of dirty bulking originated from, but I think that if you're considering dirty bulking as a legitimate way to gain muscle, to look aesthetic, I think you're delusional. Okay, perhaps you think that dirty bulking, more calories, it doesn't matter where those calories come from as long as it fits your macros. If you think that that is what gains you more muscle than someone who is doing a clean bulk, you're also delusional. You can never outrun a bad diet. That is a fact. Oh, yes, I can. You're a jester. You're a clown. The universal truth with dirty bulking is you will 100%, 10 out of 10 times, gain fat. A lot of it. Okay, if you eat in a calorie surplus for an extended period of time, binging junk food, you will gain fat. Okay? Insulin is going to cause you to gain subcutaneous fat, but also visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat below your belly area, and so actually only present around your belly area, which is why you look at some bodybuilders who are stage ready, they're 5% body fat, but they still have a bubble gut because they all have high levels of visceral fat. The worst part is visceral fat and insulin mainly comes from fructose and processed sugar, which you definitely wouldn't be having much of on an animal-based diet. I think that you can 100% gain muscle on a bulk whilst dropping your body fat percentage. I'm a prime example of myself. I gained 25 kilos in just under 3 years. I was 38 kilos at 13 and now I'm 63 before turning 16. Okay, I've never gone on a cut in that time frame and I've maintained my body fat at just 12%. And so yes, never take the bulk too far. You'll never look good if you're fat. Um, Everyone will prefer a lean physique over an overly bulky one. But that's also going to be the same for the exact opposite. The exact opposite is also a mistake, and that's why in eighth place we have refusing to bulk because you're afraid to gain fat. Okay, chances are if you're watching videos like this one, you're in a situation where you're skinny. You've got not a lot of muscle, but you also look kind of chubby at the same time. You're not like fat, you're not obese, but you've got a little bit of a protruding belly and you're not really satisfied with your physique yet, and you're not really at a low enough body fat percentage where the muscle would look good anyways if you had it. And you just look soft, unesthetic, and I mean, the body you have right now is just in like a gray zone between skinny and fat. So the question is, do you bulk or do you cut? Now, before I tell you the answer, what do you think? From this situation where you're skinny fat, what should you do? Now, if you said to bulk, specifically to lean, clean bulk, you would be 100% correct. Okay, where you lift hard, you eat animal based at a small calorie surplus. But if you said to cut or to main gain, you would be limiting your progress heavily. Okay, the idea that bulking is not necessary to gain muscle, and you can just build muscle from fat by main gaining or go into a calorie deficit, that is very inefficient. Okay, it's not that you can't, but if you did, it would be extremely slow. Okay, 10 kilos of muscle is around 50,000 calories. Okay, which there's two options from here. You could, option one, cut, go on a calorie deficit, where you could get that 50,000 calories by cutting and using your body fat as energy to build new muscle, which sounds very good on paper, but then you realize it's only really applicable to guys over 20% body fat. And if you're skinny fat, you're probably more like in the 15 to 18% range. And yeah, so it's not applicable to you. Or you could go option two, where you clean bulk. You eat mainly animal based and bulk at a small 300 calorie or so surplus for about 6 months. But then the question is, won't I gain fat? Says the anorexic twig that's too scared to bulk. And the truth is, you will gain fat, okay? There's a very high chance that you'll gain some amount of fat on a bulk, even on a clean bulk, okay? But the thing I think that 99% of guys don't understand is that although you have gained more fat, your total body fat percentage will decrease, okay? Because there's a higher proportion of muscle to fat. There is less fat compared to the rest of your body's mass. And that's the amazing thing about bulking. The goal isn't to gain all muscle and 0% fat. The goal is just to gain more muscle than fat, which sounds obviously 100% less impressive, but it is what works. Okay, your total fat-free mass index, which is this thing, is actually, I think it's just a better marker of how aesthetic you actually are than BMI. Okay, the best tip I can give to you is just to not track calories at all. I don't think calorie trackers adjust for things like puberty, how much existing muscle you have, how much it doesn't take into consideration how much you ate the day before, right? Which all have an effect on how much muscle an influence on how much muscle you can maximize and how much fat you can minimize on your bulk. So, what do you do instead? I think you should eat until you're full and then eat some more. Okay, you might think that this system is simple and inaccurate, but I guarantee you that you actually have no idea how good your body is actually at gauging and how much you're supposed to eat. So yeah, don't track calories, eat full, and then eat some more. Correct. By the way, if you found this video valuable, could you just help me out and make sure that you are subscribed? I'm trying to get to 1K subs by the end of this year, and you'll also be the first to get notified whenever a new video gets uploaded. It's a win-win. In seventh place, down here, we have changing your workout unnecessarily. Okay, a lot of guys will find a workout routine, follow it, and then when they don't see any progress within a week, what do? They go online again, and then they search for a new workout routine. And this cycle just repeats again and again until they find another one. And then at the end of the day, they just don't make any progress at all. Like, if this sounds like you, the first thing that you need to realize is that in the first 6 to 12 months of your lifting journey, it literally does not matter what you do. Anything and everything will gain you muscle because, well, you get to experience what we call newbie gains. Okay? Where just any resistance training, any exercise will gain you the first 10 pounds of muscle within the 6 months. By the way, this is expectations versus reality. The truth is progress is linear, right? It's just not going, you're going to plateau at some point. And again, and then again. And most of the time, it's not actually because of your workout routine. So you don't really need to change your workout routine that significantly to be able to get past these plateaus. But anyways, so what I recommend you to do is just to do literally any workout routine. Just do the most basic one that you can find. Don't worry about optimizing it yet. The more simple, easier to follow, the better. Okay, at this stage, the only thing that you should be worrying about is learning all the exercises, training to failure, training in the right range, not how long your exercises are, not how many exercises you have. Just do a 20 to 30-minute workout every single day. Squat, bench, deadlift, 3 sets each. Stay consistent. Don't miss any days. And your progress will come in 6 months. I can guarantee you that. In sixth place, we have wrong choice of exercise. Contrary to popular beliefs, there's actually a right and wrong choice of exercise. I think that compound exercises are always going to be superior to isolation exercises. And literally doesn't make sense not be doing compound exercises, literally less time to train more muscle groups, right? No, not a single reason not to be doing them. In fact, you would probably be leaving gains on the table if you didn't do them. I built this physique at 15 years old in a little over 2 years from doing compound exercises only. Okay, and I can confidently say that it is one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my entire lifting journey. In fifth place, we have training hard while sleeping like garbage. And I'm pretty sure at some point we've all been victim to bad sleep. And obviously, sleep is one of the hardest habits to master and stay consistent with. And, bad sleep is actually so detrimental. Like, I would genuinely pay millions to go back in time and just slap some sense into my younger self to go to sleep earlier instead of playing video games at night. The list of problems that bad sleep causes will be so long that this video will be hours long if I included all of them. But I just think that whatever you're doing, literally anything and everything you're doing will be significantly, drastically improved with better sleep, especially building muscle. There's a direct causation between, well, not hours slept, but quality of sleep. Quality sleep and muscle gain. I guarantee you there's a direct causation. Okay? If you want to make muscle, maybe double, quadruple triple your progress that you're making right now. All of those things will be improved so much if you just had better sleep. And the best way to do that is just to make sure that you're sleeping at the same time every single day for the same hours every single day. Yeah, so this means, let's say you want to sleep for 9 hours every single day. Then you must wind down before you go to sleep. So there's no eating, no caffeine, no exercise, no lights. Do some kind of breathing meditation activity. Have your room very, very cold. Um, and then lower your cortisol, wake up and get the sun before, right after you wake up. Also, go in the comments below. Let me know if you want to see another video on sleep. Like, I think that sleep is a topic that I'm very passionate about as well, besides lifting weights. Um, in fourth place, we have neglecting key muscle groups. Another deadly mistake is neglecting key muscle groups. And first of all, what do I mean by key muscle groups? When I talk about this, I mean the one that all of the most aesthetic physiques have in common. Okay, prime example, David Lade. Almost perfect physique. Okay? The universal muscle groups are number one, shoulders, delts. Look at any aesthetic physique and you'll see that their shoulders are overdeveloped. Okay? At least a strong point, minimum, bare minimum. Number two, lats, V-taper, aesthetic, no-brainer. Okay, chest, non-negotiable, looks very good from the front, from the side, it gives you that thickness. Glutes, super underrated. I don't think anyone even trains glutes nowadays except girls, but I do. You know, it changes your body shape entirely. I mean, it gives you that illusion that your V-taper looks even better, and it gives you that contrast for your legs to pop out. Number five is abs, classic, key to aesthetic physique. I just think that if any of these main muscle groups are lacking, especially these three, then just like your physique is just not gonna look at its best, you know, like just try your best, do whatever you can to fix these lacking muscle groups, do extra sets for them. But I think that if you're doing a large variety of compound exercises, you shouldn't be having any lacking muscle groups. Um, what I recommend you to do if you have these muscle groups that are lacking is just to remove assistance such as lifting straps, unnecessary sitting down or lying down, lifting belts. These are all going to help you develop any lacking muscle groups like your lower back, your abs, your forearms. And on top of that, if you can add more sets for like your delts, your lats, your chest, you can basically fix this problem. This is like one of the easiest problems to fix. In third place, we have training like an endurance athlete. A common mistake I see with a lot of guys who are just getting into the gym is that they'll do too many reps. And yes, there's such thing as too many reps. When you do too many reps, the type of stimulus your body responds to actually changes. Okay, it goes from a hypertrophy stimulus to an endurance stimulus, which, you know, it gives you a lot of that burn, that soreness. It gives you that lactic acid burn, but it is not what gives your muscles a reason to grow. It is not directly what gives your muscle a reason to grow. It does not grow your muscles. Okay, a common misconception for beginners is that they think that in order for their muscles to grow, they must feel at least sore. But that is BS. Okay, it's a myth. I haven't felt sore in like 2 years. I've gotten considerably bigger. Okay, I would argue that the optimal rep range for muscle growth is actually a lot lower than you think. Okay, by the way, metabolic stress, muscle damage, this is basically soreness, right? And this is training, 30 reps. So both of these things, they are indirectly going to lead to muscle hypertrophy, but is not the main driver. Everyone's told you that 5 to 30 reps is a sweet spot for muscle growth, but I think that's an oversimplification. Okay, when we look at the main drivers of hypertrophy, it's mainly mechanical tension. It's not even close. It's mostly mechanical tension, like by a lot. And in fact, I would say that if you base your workouts around mechanical tension alone, you can basically forget about these other two and still make the same, if not more progress. Okay, these are only alternative pathways to muscle hypertrophy. Okay, I think that metabolic stress and micro tears are like, they are both dependent on mechanical tension, right? You need mechanical tension to be able to get these things, but it's not the same vice versa. So, what this means is you cannot get real muscle growth from micro tears and metabolic stress alone without some amount of mechanical tension. The best way to get mechanical tension is to be training in a 6 to rep range. But more specifically 5 to 10, which I found to be better, with a minimum of only 75% of your 1 rep max. Okay, only 1 rep shy of failure, so very close to failure. And yeah, with an emphasis on good form and also a control eccentric, I think that going lower reps is always going to be better than going high reps. Okay, in second place, we have no clear dream physique goal. This mistake can ruin your progress so much before you even start. And I'd say that 60 to 70% of guys don't even make it past the beginner stage due to this mistake alone. And the fix to the mistake is so simple, yet nobody's really taught you how to choose a physique goal. So, right now, actionable step, I want you to get your phone out on your notes app, write 3 lines. These 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Write 1 year, 3 years, and 10 years. And I'm sure by now you know where this is going. I want you to describe with as much detail how your physique will look in 1 year, 3 years, and 10 years into the future. Okay, bonus points if you attach a goal physique for each of those. Be 100% realistic and honest. Okay, if you're 300 pounds right now, don't expect to be around 12% body fat shredded in 6 months. But could you do that in maybe 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line? Maybe. Make that your goal then. Not only that, but also note down the steps that you take for the next year to reach your 1 year goal physique, because this one is actually what matters the most. Okay, this one right here, 10 years down the line, that's just your goal physique for the rest of your life. This is actually what matters the most right now. And in first place, the absolute worst mistake you can be making in the gym is inconsistency. You cannot stick to a workout plan. I'd say that 90 to 95% of guys who considered going to the gym quit because of this one mistake alone. Okay, when you don't see visible progress, or you see progress but it's not enough to convince you to keep going, you get disappointed. You lose all the motivation. You are far than likely to come back to the gym again. Because at stage 1 right now, you've built 0 momentum, right? You don't have the physical proof that you are who you say you are. You're still skinny fat. So when you quit the gym because you see no progress, you lose more progress. You start falling back into your old habits again, sleeping late, binge eating junk food, and the bad momentum builds up. And then you just look worse than you do before. And, maybe you've tried getting back on track again and stay disciplined, but you can never make it past the first week. This is the brutal truth for 90 to 95% of gym goers. Okay, they never make it past the first week. This is a fact, by the way. This just goes to show how much. The one thing is actually ego. Okay, because when your ego's high, your self-awareness is very low. So what do? You overestimate your ability to stay consistent with the gym. You make all of these big promises, but you never take any action. New Year's resolutions are cope. Okay? So what you do is you think that you can optimize your workouts on day one. You add in new exercises every single week. You try the new latest the latest split. You try push pull legs, 2 hour long sessions. And when you try to get fast progress, quick, visible gains, the quick dopamine hit, you burn out even faster. Funny enough, it's usually the guys who don't expect anything out of the gym that actually makes the most amount of progress. The only thing, and I guarantee you, you'll immediately think that this is counterintuitive. Before you do anything, on day one, before you even step foot in a gym, the best thing you can do is to acknowledge you're playing the long game. Okay, prepare yourself to deliberately, purposefully make progress at an almost comically slow speed. And I know it doesn't make sense right now, but maybe this video game analogy will help you understand it better. Okay, imagine you just joined a video game. You're at level 0, all your stats 0. But what you try to do is you try to kill the end game boss straight away. To nobody's surprise, the boss kills you instead. And almost like an idiot, you try again. You try and kill this boss again. And then you check your stats 6 months, a year down the line, and everything is still at level 0. So you quit the game after that. What if, from the very start, you drop your ego, you acknowledge that you're a beginner, you just kill the level 1 sheeps? I know it doesn't sound like something that's very impressive, but every beginner kills the level 1 sheeps before they move on to something else. And this time, you win. Okay? You kill the level 1 sheeps, you kill more sheeps, and then you level up to level 2, to level 3. And then you start killing higher level mobs, and eventually, after years of hard work and grinding, you finally kill that endgame dragon, and you win. When I put it that way, it almost makes perfect sense. But why is it that with the gym, nobody does the same thing? I can tell you for sure, the first year of lifting, I did not try to optimize my approach, my workout. I just did the most simple, like almost, I was laughed at for doing this easy workout. Just this workout of 3 sets of bench, squat, and deadlift. One to 3 sets each. Took me 20 minutes to get to the gym and back. I did that for a year. No days missed. And now my workout's a lot more advanced, a lot more complex, but one thing stayed the same: consistency. Okay, no matter what workout I did, I always stuck to the routine, and the progress came to me eventually, and I guarantee you it will come to you too. All the information is online. All the information that you need to become aesthetic, to become jacked, is available to you online. It's your job to lock the hell in, take action right now, and the progress will come. If you like what you see here, I've got a free and paid private community. It's the top link in the description. I've got a bunch of courses. I can help you get into the best shape of your life. I've got courses on, looks maxing, going to the gym, getting an aesthetic physique, and also facial stuff. I've got group calls, one-on-one checkup, and if you're gonna join right now, I've got a free forum which you can join. There's a bunch of like-minded guys, and I'll be posting there fairly frequently too. So yeah, what would the best version of yourself do right now? Goodbye.